sure that trick-or-treating is safe. So here in Frankfort, all of our cabinets and staff are moving a safe trick-or-treating experience here on the first floor of the Capitol. So from 6 to 8 p.m., especially if it is raining or storming, feel free to bring your kids up to the first floor of the Capitol. We'll have a good, safe experience for them. We're going to start this Team Kentucky Update the way that we always do, by talking about our red-hot economy. Since the beginning of my administration, we've now announced over 1,000 new location and expansion projects, now totaling over $33 billion of private sector investment and creating nearly 56,000 full-time jobs. Today, we had more good news through the Kentucky Economic Development Finance Authority. This morning, 7 prospective new location and expansion projects were approved for performance-based tax incentives. If all these come to fruition, they'll total over $334 million in potential new investments and up to 532 new full-time jobs. They include Block Mining, Inc., with 3 projects in Marshall and McCracken counties, Kuna and Nagel in Shelby County, Medvanix in Jefferson County, Block by Block in Jefferson County, and also Whelan Machine and Tool LLC in Jefferson County. This also includes the continued, today's announcements include more announcements through our KPDI program, which is about getting the next sites ready for the next group of jobs that are coming. So today's announcements include projects in Caldwell, Floyd, and Perry counties who moved through today's approval process and will receive $10.2 million in state funding to aid local support. In Caldwell County, local leaders plan to construct a building on an existing build-ready site in the Princeton Industrial Park. This is a regional project with support from Crittenden County. Again, we're seeing more teamwork. All across Kentucky, more counties, more regions teaming up, recognizing that if we bring good jobs to one county, they benefit all the surrounding counties. The Floyd County community received approval to purchase a 50-acre tract to develop into the Thunder Ridge Industrial Business Park. And in Hazard, leaders plan to construct a secondary water treatment plant and transmission line at the Coalfields Industrial Park in Perry County. This is a regional project with help from Breathitt and Knott counties. I'm thrilled to see these investments continue across the Commonwealth. We also had some important announcements and milestones earlier this month. Last Thursday, we highlighted further growth in our healthcare industry as HealthTracks RX, a provider of infectious disease laboratory services, announced plans to locate a new facility in Louisville. The project is creating 230 quality full-time jobs with a $45.5 million investment. The new operation will be the company's largest and most advanced laboratory to date, supporting the rapid growth and demand company leaders anticipate in the molecular diagnostics space. Ensuring Kentuckians from every corner of the Commonwealth have access to quality healthcare services is critical. And after going through the pandemic, the more of these types of labs and others that we can bring to the Commonwealth, the better prepared we will be in the future. We also saw continued growth in our manufacturing sector as RidgeNet Network Group announced plans to expand its Pulaski County presence with a $1.2 million expansion that will create 20 additional full-time jobs. RidgeNet is a manufacturer of equipment for emergency vehicles and other components used by law enforcement, fire, and EMS. The company serves as one of the largest upfitting and public safety companies in the United States, building over 1,000 vehicles per year for use in this country. The company fits existing vehicles with advanced equipment such as lighting, sirens, prisoner transport computers, evidence collection system, and two-way radio communication systems. Our economy continues to see tremendous momentum, and manufacturers like RidgeNet Network Growth are playing a specific and important role. Also, I had the opportunity to join one of Kentucky's largest distributors, DHL Express, in announcing the groundbreaking of the company's new state-of-the-art aviation maintenance facility in northern Kentucky. This is an enormous project when you look at its scale. It's a $292 million investment. It's creating 300 new full-time jobs. It is a major expansion of CVG at this airport. Remember, CVG is on our side of the river. People try to call it the Cincinnati Airport. It is the Northern Kentucky Airport, as CVG stands for Covington. The project, which has increased in scope since it was originally announced in July of 2023, it was originally a $192 million investment. But what we have seen is increased demand and more investment over and over at the company's global hub at what they call the Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport. We'll just call our Northern Kentucky International Airport. I'm thrilled to support DHL's continued growth in our state, and we appreciate their commitment. Earlier this week, we also announced a huge investment from the federal government. On Monday, I joined Administrator Andy Burke from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to announce that Eastern Kentucky Power has been awarded up to $1.4 billion in federal funds to increase the amount of power that it produces and to produce more renewable energy. For us, this is a game changer and an answer. It's a game changer to the extent that we need more power produced in Kentucky with all of these new facilities that we are locating. It's also an answer because each of these new facilities wants a certain portfolio that includes more renewables than we are currently producing. And so the question was how we do that without raising the rates of our consumers with the investments that are needed. This is going to go a long way. $1.4 billion along with Eastern Kentucky Power's investment is going to mean they're going to be able to provide more power, more renewable power, and we're going to continue to locate more businesses here in Kentucky by meeting their needs and the downstream needs of their consumers. Through other federal funds, we announced that more than 12,200 students would have access to digital learning, and more than 27,700 Kentuckians would receive health care they need through telemedicine. We have now been awarded several major grants through these 4.5 years. In fact, the Commonwealth now has $3 billion plus grants from the federal government that we've been able to announce, this being the third. But in June of 2023, we secured $1.1 billion from the Federal Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program so we can bring affordable, reliable, high-speed internet to every Kentuckian. It was the largest public investment in high-speed internet in our history. Then in December of 2022, the Federal Highway Administration announced a $1.6 billion grant to help us complete the monumental Brent Spence Bridge Corridor project, building a second bridge across the Ohio River, something that's been promised for decades, but we're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done without tolls. So a big thanks to the Biden-Harris administration. Now, $3 billion plus grants. We certainly have never seen that in our lifetime, and we are grateful for that support. Federal grants like these show how the state and federal government can work together to address issues our families are facing. In fact, I have another grant to announce today. It is a $1 million federal grant to build a brand new terminal at the Capital City Airport right here in Frankfort. The grant comes from the Federal Aviation Administration's Airport Infrastructure Grant Program, powered by the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. I want to thank former Congressman John Yarmouth and Senator Mitch McConnell, who were the two Kentucky federal office holders that voted for the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law for helping to make this happen. The new terminal will modernize our airport, improving the experience for everyone, whether recreational pilots, business travelers, or emergency responders. But we're not stopping with just federal funding. Kentucky's backing this project with about $5 million in state support, showing our commitment to our capital city. With us today is Frankfort Mayor Lane Wilkerson. Mayor, would you like to say a few words about the project? You dress up.
I didn't get the memo, and happy Halloween, everyone. And thank you for the opportunity, Governor, to acknowledge this significant milestone for the Capital City Airport. And this is a big deal, not only for Frankfort, but all of Central Kentucky. This $1 million in federal funding and additional state support will enable the city of Frankfort to not only serve the increasing number of visitors to the capital city, but also allow us to better attract residents and recruit new businesses. And I've always said a modern city deserves a modern airport, and this grant will help us build a new modern terminal. We're deeply grateful for everyone who's made this happen, not only the state of Kentucky, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, the U.S. Department of Transportation, and of course the leadership team at the Capital City Airport. I'm excited about what this grant's going to do for the city of Frankfort going forward. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. So at today's funding. That means we've got a more than $6 million project going on at that airport here in Frankfurt. It is exciting to see that type of progress. All right, with the general election less than a week away, Brittany and I got up and voted early this morning in Frankfurt, and the process was quick and easy, though we are seeing lines, which is a wonderful thing. Voting is the bedrock principle of our society, and I'm proud of the bipartisan steps we've taken to protect every Kentuckian's right to vote and make their voice heard. Early voting was made possible through bipartisan legislation I was proud to sign in 2021. We've made Kentucky a national model by expanding voting when other states were restricting it. The work built on action I took on my third day in office to restore voting rights for Kentuckians who had completed their sentences for nonviolent offenses. Since then, over 194,700 Kentuckians have had their voting rights restored. I encourage all eligible Kentuckians to make a plan to get out and vote. Early in-person voting takes place starting today, Thursday, October 31st, continues tomorrow, Friday, October 1st, and into Saturday, November the 2nd. Now, let me do that again because we had a typo. Thursday, October 31st, today, tomorrow, Friday, November 1st, and Saturday, November 2nd. And of course, you can still vote in person on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th, but I like to think these are all now election days. To find out where to vote, registered voters can visit the State Board of Elections at govote.ky.gov. I was proud to work on getting those extra voting days in a bipartisan, really in a nonpartisan way, with our Secretary of State, Michael Adams, to make sure we were expanding access to voting to our people. And today, he's here to talk with us more about the importance of voting and I think some of the trends we're already seeing. Secretary?
Thank you, Governor. And let me thank you personally, Governor, as well, for voting early. You always set a good example by showing up on the first day of voting. I do the same thing. There's nothing partisan or ideological about the day you pick to go vote. Just go vote. There are three takeaways I'd like folks to know as we enter this voting season. Number one, if you're voting by absentee ballot, make sure you get it back to your county clerk. We have a deadline. We can't count your vote if we don't have it before the election's over, which is 6 o'clock on Tuesday. We have gotten back 71% of outstanding absentee ballots. That leaves 29%, which is about 28,500. Get those back to us so we can count them. If you live in Louisville or Lexington, you can probably mail it and it'll be fine. If you live in Western Kentucky in particular, that mail goes out of state and gets sent back. It might be too late. Every county has a drop box, at least one. You can find your absentee ballot drop box locations at govote.ky.gov. You don't need postage. There's no delay. Your clerk gets it. They check those boxes every day and take your votes, and we'll count them. Second, I strongly encourage voters to use the early voting days. We have had occasional and sporadic instances of lines this morning when the polls opened. We had the same thing in 2020 on the first day of voting. That's not unusual. Those lines have calmed down. They're moving very, very quickly. You're going to have a longer line and a longer voting experience if you wait until Tuesday. In 2020, 45% of our voters voted early, and that's why Election Day was very smooth. I'm very hopeful that we'll have a utilization of early voting this year as well. We expect a very high turnout. When we had our election in 2020, we had the highest turnout nationally since 1908. I think we're going to have a higher turnout this year than we had in 2020. So I want to strongly encourage Kentuckians, don't procrastinate. Don't wait till the last minute. Go vote now. I know very few voters who are undecided. If you made up your mind, then go ahead and vote. Lastly, don't just make a plan for how you're going to vote, but make a plan of whom you're going to vote for. Most of the races on the ballot are not partisan in most parts of the state. This morning I voted, and 1/3 of one of 2 pages was partisan races. So even if you're a straight ticket Republican or Democrat, if you fill in that one bubble, you're not done voting yet. There are city councils and judges, school boards, constitutional amendments, all sorts of things that are not partisan elections. Go to our website, govote.ky.gov, and you can look at your ballot before you vote. We had some lines in 2022 because some folks waited until they showed up at the polls to look at their ballot for the first time. They had a couple of amendments on there that were very long and written in a legalistic fashion. They glummed up the lines, unfortunately, by taking their time to start then to research how they were going to vote. This is an open book test. You can you can look at your ballot before you show up to vote it. I did that myself this morning. I brought my own sample ballot because there's some names I couldn't remember running for nonpartisan offices. So it's an open book test. Get your sample ballot at govote.ky.gov. With that, if you have any questions for me, I'll be just down the hall. And Governor, thank you for making time for me today. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. As your governor, my duty is to ensure that every Kentuckian feels secure in casting their vote free from fear or worry. To that end, we're going to take an extra step this year in that Kentucky Emergency Management will activate our State Emergency Operations Center on Tuesday, November 5th from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me emphasize, this is not because we foresee issues in Kentucky. Rather, we want to be fully prepared and ready. That's our job day in and day out. This is a step many states across the nation are taking, and it's just a shared commitment for a safe and secure election. Together here in Kentucky with our partners in the Energy and Environment Cabinet, major utility providers, communication infrastructure teams, public safety professionals, cybersecurity experts, and the Kentucky National Guard, it just means we are even better prepared to respond to any questions or concerns that arise. We'll be working closely with the Secretary of State and the Attorney General's office. These are entirely separate functions. They do not duplicate any of the important work that those two offices do, but it means that we will be as prepared as we've ever been in an election if anything arises. So today we have our Emergency Management Director, Eric Gibson, with us. Eric?
Thank you very much, sir. Now, as the governor started out by saying, this is just the part of the preparedness that we expect as Kentuckians from our agency at Kentucky Emergency Management. Our center will be open during that day, on Election Day, and we'll be operating with our partners from other state agencies, along with partners from other entities, private entities such as utility cooperatives and things of that nature. We're going to stay open to provide that support, to be vigilant in protecting our Commonwealth on that Election Day. But you would expect that from us every day. So that's what we're doing. By being open, we'll be able to support our local entities. Many of them are going to open their EOCs or emergency operations centers, and our job is to be there to support them in case they have a resource request. So if that resource request comes in, we're already open and operational. We'll be able to provide assistance quickly for anything they may need or that may come up. And then that also provides us the ability to provide visibility to our state leaders, the ones that the governor mentioned and himself. If anything were to come in through our 24-hour available warning point, issues come in, we're able to provide that information to our state leaders so they can make appropriate decisions. We'll be working with several of our partners. As mentioned, the National Guard will be there. They're operational as well. But we all have a few other things that are going on, and it is the right thing to do is to be open on that day. We're still continuing to support those efforts over in North Carolina. We have teams going in and out, rotating through with Transportation Cabinet, and that requires quite a bit of coordination through the Emergency Management Assistance Compact, and we operate that there at our center as well. And I just want to take over time to just thank the Transportation Cabinet for their commitment to what they've done over there in North Carolina. They're continuing to step up to the plate and support them in their time of need. And that can't be enough said about how much that really means to those folks over there. I've heard from our fellow Kentuckians that are traveling down there that they've been treated with almost like as heroes as they come to North Carolina. And you just can't say enough about what that means to those citizens down there. And we're there as a supporting agency. We're not the ones going. We're just coordinating that effort there. And so we'll be open. North Carolina sends a request. I will be forwarding that up, making sure we get the appropriate assistance to them. So there's other things that we're doing that we just can't shut the doors and go home on. So we have a really important role there as well. And then we're continuing to work through the last event that happened here in Kentucky with Hurricane Helene, documenting damage and providing our governor the most current information on that incident. So there's several operational things that are going on there at the Emergency Operations Center that day. So we will be open, we'll be vigilant, and be ready to respond if anything does come up. But we are there just as a measure of preparedness. We're giving our staff the opportunity to vote by rotating shifts around. So we want to, like I said, get out and vote early. Make sure that every one of our employees do get that opportunity. And we encourage the rest of Kentuckians to get out and vote. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yes, I appreciate it. Here in the Commonwealth, we are building our new Kentucky home, one where prosperity and opportunity are available for everyone, one where we are able to tell our real story and not the stereotypes of the past to people all across the country and all across the world. But we know in order for us to build on our success, we need our people to be healthy enough to live full, long lives, healthy enough to take advantage of all the opportunity that we're creating around the state. So today, I'm happy to have a familiar face with us. Our Commissioner of Public Health, Dr. Stephen Stack, is here to kick off an exciting new initiative called Our Healthy Kentucky Home. It is a year-long plan where we will all learn how to take small steps to improve our health and our wellness together, because we all know we can get through anything, and we can get through anything together. I wish we had our friend Virginia here at this reunion, but I know she's cheering us on, and she'd be really proud of this initiative. I'll let Dr. Stack take it from here to talk a little bit more about Our Healthy Kentucky Home.
Thank you, Governor. And good afternoon, Team Kentucky. Today's message is a positive and uplifting one for a change. Through small and sustainable steps, we can improve our health and wellness. And by doing this together, we can ensure all Kentuckians can enjoy healthy, happy, fulfilling lives. If I could have the next slide, please. To begin, it's helpful to establish where we are today. Survey data from 2022 shows that among Kentuckians, 38% are obese, 26% do not engage in exercise outside of work, 45% eat less than one fruit per day, and another 20% eat less than one vegetable per day. On top of this, 17% of adults smoke cigarettes. Taken together, these behaviors increase blood pressure, increase obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and other illnesses that diminish the quality of and shorten the length of our lives. Too often, taking action to improve these things feels like we're standing at the bottom of Mount Everest, looking up more than 5 miles high. The task appears so insurmountable that we effectively give up before we begin. There's great news about this, though. Small and simple actions, things each of us can do with a little planning and encouragement, can produce enormous benefits and improvements in our health. And the greatest gains are realized by those who start from doing nearly nothing to doing just something. Next slide, please. So the overarching year-long goals of the Our Healthy Kentucky Home campaign are to eat 2 servings of fresh fruits or vegetables daily, to exercise at least 30 minutes 3 times per week, and to engage with others and stay connected. Let's look at that a little more closely. So first of all, eat 2 servings of fruits or vegetables every day, 7 days a week. Pick any combination of fruits and vegetables, but plan ahead every week for every day. The goal here is to make it a normal part of our daily routine to ensure that none of us eats less than 2 servings of fruits and vegetables. Next, exercise at least 30 minutes 3 times per week. Technology has made us much more sedentary than our ancestors. Extended periods of sitting and physical activity elevate our blood pressure, elevate our blood sugar, and cause damage to our spines. Undoing this damage doesn't take much. In fact, walking for as little as 15 minutes after a meal or walking 5 minutes out of every hour in the day can have dramatically positive improvements in lowering our blood pressure and our blood sugar. Here, our year-long goal is to ensure that every Kentuckian actively plans to walk or at least otherwise exercise at least 30 minutes 3 times per week. And the final objective is to become more engaged and connected with others. And no, not on our phones. The U.S. Surgeon General published a report in 2023 about our nation's epidemic of isolation and loneliness. Despite all the time we spend on social media and other technology platforms, this directly contributes to stress, anxiety, and depression. We feel less connected and lonelier than ever, all of which diminish our health and happiness. To counteract these harms, our goal here is to ensure that all of us spend more in-person social and technology-free time with each other over the next 12 months. Complementing these year-long goals, every month we will have a specific focus and provide additional education and encouragement for us to address important topics such as heart health, diabetes, cancer screening and prevention, mental health, and more. Each month, we'll talk about these topics and post new information on our campaign website. If I could have the final slide. Today is just the start. In the weeks and months ahead, we look forward to more partners joining in this initiative to support family, friends, neighbors, employees, and customers to support these concrete steps to eat, exercise, and engage with others. At the bottom of our website, there is a video and information packet to help partners create their own initiatives to support and expand this effort. Please join us and learn more at our healthykyhome.ky.gov, and the website is live now. And so, Team Kentucky, Governor Beshear and I invite you today to begin a year-long journey with us to improve our Commonwealth and fully achieve our Healthy Kentucky Home. So thank you very much.
We are grateful to have Dr. Stack back and to finally be doing the work we talked about when we sat down at the end of 2019 talking about this job. He's one of the few people in his position that is still in that position that helped navigate through a pandemic. But I know his goal was always about more than surviving. It was about helping Kentuckians thrive. So today, we're really excited to launch this initiative, which will connect to a number of others you'll see coming out in the future, about making sure we're living good, healthy lives, about making sure that our relatives are with us longer, about making sure we're more productive and that we feel better. And what Dr. Stack is doing is he's guiding us with some small steps that we can take that'll make us individually more healthy, but it's also going to make all of our communities more vibrant. So let's do this. Let's take this on. Think about everything we've done. Think about going up against a pandemic or tornadoes or floods, breaking every economic development records in the books. We're showing that this generation of Kentuckians can do important, game-changing things and improving our health as a state, as a Team Kentucky community is one of those challenges we need to rise to if we're going to reach that next level and the next one and the next one after. And remember, when we do it, our kids see it. We have a chance to make intra-generational change, meaning if we get healthier, our kids will be healthier and their kids will be healthier and their kids will be healthier. So this is our chance not to leave some of these challenges to another generation, but to make sure we get this job done and that we ensure part of our collective legacy is putting the Commonwealth on the very best path to be the very best state that we can be. And certainly, we want to be the best in the country at just about everything. And making these steps is going to be important to getting there. Next up, I'm proud to say that our team at the Cabinet for Health and Family Services has been given an award by the American Public Human Services Association for the success of the Kentucky Health Information Data Sharing Project. This project was started by members of Team Kentucky who saw a need to help child welfare workers streamline their processes and better serve children in foster care. The project made it easier for clinical data from the Kentucky Health Information Exchange to be accessed by child welfare workers. Previously, the exchange and the Kentucky Child Welfare System operated on islands, which slowed communications between groups and made it difficult to coordinate and track the care that foster children had been receiving. To address these issues, they created a new way to provide our child welfare workers with real-time access to healthcare records. This streamlined communication helps our child welfare workers make better informed decisions and receive live notifications about the health care our foster children are receiving. The project has been a huge success with more than 10,000 foster care children now registered into the system. Since the beginning of 2023, nearly 70,000 notifications have been sent to our child welfare workers to help them ensure the children they work with receive the best possible care. The award is well-deserved, and it's the fourth time the American Public Human Services Association has awarded Team Kentucky for continuously striving to better serve the citizens of the Commonwealth. So we congratulate the team at the Cabinet for Health and Family Services for receiving this award. On Team Kentucky, we strive every day to keep our Kentucky families healthy and safe. Today, we have some good news in these efforts as we're announcing that 5 Kentucky school districts will receive almost $350,000 to replace older school buses with new, cleaner models. School districts in Campbell, Fleming, Henry, Mason, and Nelson counties will use federal funds to take some of their oldest buses with the highest diesel emissions and replace them with cleaner, new diesel and propane buses. These new buses emit up to 60 times fewer pollutants than those built before 1995. They also emit fewer gases than the older buses that they're replacing. And that'll mean cleaner air for Kentuckians, but especially for our school children. For those school districts that missed out on getting these awards, a new round of almost $344,000 is available now in a new round of funding. The deadline to apply for this new round is November the 15th. Today, we've got Devin O'Brien, Director of Transportation for the Nelson County School District, who's going to accept this check for $125,000 towards the purchase of 4 new buses. Come on up. Congratulations. Pretty exciting.
It is, for sure.
Photo. You want to mention the buses? I will. Please.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to stand here today on behalf of the Nelson County School District as we celebrate an important milestone in our commitment to providing cleaner, safer environment for our students and our community. We are thrilled to accept the Diesel Emissions Reduction Grant, which will enable us to replace our aging, less efficient school buses with modern, environmentally friendly alternatives. I would like to express our gratitude to Governor Beshear and the team at the Division for Air Quality for recognizing the need for investment in our public transportation and for providing us with this generous grant. Your support will not only help us reduce harmful emissions, but also enhance the safety and comfort of our students as they travel to and from school. This grant represents more than just a financial contribution. It embodies a shared vision for a sustainable future. By transitioning to cleaner buses, we are making a commitment to the health and well-being of our children and our community. Furthermore, this grant will save on fuel costs and maintenance over the long term, allowing us to redirect those savings into other vital areas of our educational system. It's an investment not only in our transportation and environment, but into the future of our students. I would also like to acknowledge the hard work of our staff who helped us study our fleet to identify the most harmful buses, apply for, and receive this grant. This achievement is a testament to their dedication and commitment to our students' welfare. As we move forward with this project, we are excited about the positive impact it will have on our environment, our students, and our entire community. We look forward to unveiling our new buses, educating our community and students about the environmental impacts, and continuing to work towards a more sustainable future.
Thank you. Thanks for what you do. Appreciate you. So today, getting to celebrate these awards, but also a moment to celebrate Devin and every other public school employee. You think about the responsibilities that they take on. They certainly don't do it for the money, though we've been trying over and over to increase pay to make sure that we've got great folks like Devin all across this Commonwealth. This administration will always be a pro-public education administration. We will always push to try to get you the resources you need, and really grateful that despite underfunding of transportation from the General Assembly for decades, you found a way here, you applied, and now you've got new buses coming to your school district. So thank you for always innovating, and thanks for looking out for our kids. For our school districts who are interested in learning more about this funding, please visit the website on the screen, eec.ky.gov/KYCleanDiesel for more information. All right, an update on our medical cannabis program. Since taking office, my administration's been committed to providing access to health care and creating safer communities for all Kentuckians. To that end, over a year ago, I signed Senate Bill 47, which legalizes medical cannabis in the Commonwealth beginning January of 2025. Knowing that patients need access to life-changing medication sooner rather than later, our administration, in making sure we'd be capable of issuing licenses earlier, we worked with the General Assembly, and I signed House Bill 829 in April that gave us a longer runway. The bill took the important step of moving up the timeline for business licensing by 6 months. As a result, the program can begin issuing licenses in 2024, which we are instead of 2025. After incredible, if we can get the first slide, after incredible interest from the business community, we have approved and licensed 3 testing labs, and just this week, we held the first medical cannabis license lottery for cultivators and processors. Through that process, which was the fairest and most transparent way to allocate limited licenses, we approved the following 25 businesses to be cultivators and processors. On the processor side, KYP LLC, Caldum Holdings, Limestone Processing, Hilltop Healing Invesco, Bijal Kentucky LLC, and AJ Alchemy Labs. Also, Jill's Dispensary, One Leaf Technologies, Ice House Processing, LMMKY LLC. When we looked at the cultivators, it was L&O Legacies in Boyd County, Synapse LLC in Jefferson County, CW Bluegrass LLC in Davis County, Pop Cultivation LLC in Bracken County, Arizona Bay in Lincoln County, Wong Investments in Christian County, Joseph Sirach in Christian County, Elevated Essence in Bullock County, Slaughter Branch in Hopkins County, Going Blue in Fayette County, NG Health LLC in Fayette County, Armory Kentucky in Estill County, JMOKY in Warren County, Canopy Capital in Grant County. And cultivator tier 3 were Natural State Green Grass Canna Co. in Warren County and KSKY APP LLC in Barron County. As you can see, a fair lottery system resulted in these businesses being spread out throughout the Commonwealth, providing economic and workforce development opportunities for so many of our counties. After receiving their approval, these businesses are required to pay an initial license fee, and I'm proud to announce that today, Kentucky will be issuing its first cultivator license. Come on up, Sam. Going Blue LLC, which is going to be doing business under the name Farm-Tucky, will be the first cultivation facility licensed in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Farm-Tucky is a small Tier 1 cultivator located in Fayette County, Kentucky. These facilities have up to 2,500 square feet of growing space, and they'll be responsible for cultivating the medical cannabis that will ultimately be processed into medical cannabis products to help Kentuckians suffering from cancer, PTSD, multiple sclerosis, and other serious conditions. Now I'd like to invite Office of Medical Cannabis Executive Director Sam Flynn and Matt Going, owner and operator of Farm-Tucky, up for the presentation of this first license. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You say a few words for us?
Yeah. Thank you, Governor. We are excited to be part of the Kentucky's medical cannabis program, and we are thrilled to be here today to accept the first cultivator's license. I want to thank both the Governor and the Office of Medical Cannabis for your hard work and leadership on this program. In particular, I want to thank you for setting up this licensing process, which was incredibly user-friendly for us. And I also want to thank the Office of Medical Cannabis for working with businesses like ours step by step as we navigated this process. Kentucky-owned Farm-Tucky will produce medical cannabis in an enclosed indoor facility in Fayette County, Kentucky, and we have submitted an ambitious plan to get started as part of our application to the Office of Kentucky of Medical Cannabis. We intend to begin operation at the earliest possible date. Again, we are thrilled to be part of this program, and we look forward to working with the Governor and the Office of Medical Cannabis to ensure this program produces the highest quality products it can for Kentucky cardholders. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. Congratulations. Continuing the momentum around this program, I'm also excited to share some news about Kentucky Medical Cannabis License Lottery for dispensaries. As you know, we received an overwhelming interest for the 48 dispensary licenses that we'll be allocating through the license lottery. Over 4,000 applicants applied for a dispensary license in one or more of the 11 regions, and most of them came in the last day to 2 days. Dispensary applications represent over 80% of the total applications that we received. Due to that volume, we staffed up the Office of Medical Cannabis to ensure full and accurate reviews throughout this process. It also means that we'll be holding 2 lottery dates for dispensary regions. The first dispensary license lottery will be held Monday, November 25th at 2 p.m. at the Kentucky Lottery Corporation in Louisville. It'll follow the same format as the lottery for cultivators and processors we held earlier this week. The Office of Medical Cannabis, in conjunction with the Lottery Corporation, will draw and announce the selectees for 9 of the 11 dispensary licensing regions. The regions that we're going to do the lottery for on November 25th are Region 3, that's the Northeast, Region 4, that's the South Central, Region 5, Cumberland, Region 6, Mountain, Region 7, Pennyroyal, Region 8, West Kentucky, Region 9, Lincoln Trail, Region 10, Northern Kentucky, and Region 11, Green River. Those 9 regions represent some 2,839 applications. If approved, applicants will be included in the appropriate license lottery. Applicants will be notified about whether they are in the lottery. On November 25th, the Lottery Corporation will draw 4 selectees for each of those regions. Like our lottery this week, the full dispensary lottery will be live streamed so Kentuckians can tune in and follow along. There is full transparency. People can see every single step along the way. I'm also pleased to announce the second and final dispensary lottery will be held on Monday, December 16th. 4 draws will occur then for the 2 regions entered in the December 16th dispensary lottery. Those regions will be Region 1, which has both bluegrass, and the second Region 1, which is a Fayette County only drawing. And then Region 2, which is Kentucky-Anna, and then Region 2 has a Jefferson County only drawing. So these areas represent 1,236 of the dispensary applications received. If approved, applicants will be included in the appropriate license lottery. Again, they'll receive notification. A separate drawing will occur for each Fayette and Jefferson County because our 2 largest counties are each allocated 2 dispensary licenses each. The Lottery Corporation will hold a drawing for dispensary applications in the remaining counties in the Bluegrass region, as well as a drawing for the remaining counties in the Kentucky-Anna region. So we have so many applications, but we need to get these lotteries done. We're doing the first chunk, which is everything but the Fayette County and Fayette County area and the Jefferson County and the Jefferson County area done this month. And then we'll get those 2 areas done in December. Finally, I'm excited to announce the Office of Medical Cannabis will be reopening the application portal for testing labs for the month of November. It's important to note this is only for safety compliance facilities. They were unlimited under state law, the number of licenses that we can put out there. And we look for more applications because we believe that more facilities will be needed. These facilities help ensure our medical cannabis products are safe for all Kentuckians to consume. The office originally received 5 applications. We have licensed 3 of those. We value the testing component of the supply chain. We want to ensure robust testing throughout our market. Interested safety compliance facility applicants can apply through the online portal from November 1st, 2024 to November 30th, 2024. Again, these are some big steps that we've taken. Sam, did I miss anything? All right. Finally, we are excited to announce, alongside the Personnel Cabinet, 2 new initiatives to position state government as one of the Commonwealth's employers of choice. Now, we've been fortunate since I've been governor to make a number of steps to make being a state employee more attractive. First, we secured 4 across-the-board pay increases for state employees. That'll be a combined 20% hike by the next fiscal year for our state employees. They hadn't received raises in decades or real raises. And so that was really important to make these jobs at least a little more competitive. We're also supporting second chance employment, expanding telecommuting, and we ensured that there was no premium cost increase to the health care coverage that our employees receive. That's a big deal, as just about everyone in the private sector has that go up every year. We held those costs the same amount last year and the year before as the year before that. The first new initiative we want to highlight today is first day health insurance coverage beginning January 1st, 2025 for new state employees. This is a big deal. You know, most of the time when you get a new job, you have to wait a couple of weeks or even a month. I had to do that when I became Attorney General. Went through a period of time that made you a little bit worried for you and your family. We believe healthcare is a basic human right. And as we've seen some employers out there step up and be able to do this, we wanted to do it too. Meaning, when you agree to come work for the Commonwealth of Kentucky, you can have your healthcare coverage on the very first day that you come to work. Many state health plans across the country still begin coverage weeks after an employee's date of hire. So we're proud to lead the way on accessible health care for these new employees. The second initiative that we'd like to highlight is the launch of our new Team Kentucky intern program. This was something pushed by the Lieutenant Governor to be a new paid internship opportunity open to students considering a career in public service. I believe public service is one of the greatest careers because you get an opportunity to wake up and to help people every single day. Team Kentucky intern positions will be available in every area of the executive branch, which means there will be opportunities in many different career fields and in many different areas of interest. And interns will be eligible to receive a preference for future employment opportunities within the executive branch. This is a big deal. This means you can have a paid internship program that can lead to a full-time job. It's a huge benefit for our Kentucky students who are ready to answer the call and become public servants. I've always said that our Kentucky students aren't just young leaders or the leaders of tomorrow, they're the leaders of today. And this is a program where you can step up and start leading right now. Applications are open. If you're a high school senior or a college student, visit the link on the screen for more information and to apply today. And finally, our Team Kentucky All-Stars. Last night, some of you may have watched the Dodgers win the World Series in Game 5. What you might not have realized was how Kentucky touched every part of that final pitch that secured the win for the Dodgers. Specifically, Walker Buehler from Lexington, Kentucky, was on the mound after just a day plus of rest. Walker went to Henry Clay High School in Lexington, Kentucky. But the person he was pitching to is a guy named Will Smith from Louisville, Kentucky, meaning that final inning and the final pitch thrown in the World Series was one Kentuckian throwing to another. Young man from Lexington throwing to a young man from Louisville. I don't know if this has ever happened with Kentucky in the past, but it's pretty special to have seen two of our best highlighted in such an incredible way. So we're naming Will Smith and Walker Buehler our Team Kentucky All-Stars. If they send me a jersey, I'll wear it for the Halloween press conference next year. Be a little less Ted Lasso and a little more Will Smith and Walker Buehler. So congratulations to those two Dodgers. You make Kentucky proud. With that, we'll open it up to questions. We have one journalist in person and two on the line. So we'll start with Tom Latek.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon to you. With the cultivator and processor licenses, as soon as they pass as soon as you get the check, they can start their work, correct?
So, go ahead.
Okay, and I'll figure I'd ask them all at once, so you can give me one big answer. And will we still be able to get things underway and rolling by the first of the year?
We believe that we will have a responsible medical cannabis program up and running early in the new year, as quickly as we can do it safely and securely. Getting it right has always been our number one focus. And even with the changes in the law, the period for the ramp up was going to be a challenge. So we believe that we will see dispensaries open in the first part of next year. Whether or not they are open on January 1st, that's probably going to be a challenge. Now, once the payments are made, and the license is issued, that's when a lot of the work starts for the cultivators, the processors, and the dispensaries. They still have to get their facilities. They still have to be inspected. So there are still a number of steps to take. That's why we have a robust Office of Medical Cannabis, and it shows we're doing this really thoughtfully, having seen the programs in all these other states and making sure that we are crossing every T and dotting every I. On the line, we have Karen Czar.
Good afternoon, Governor. I have one for you and one for Dr. Stack, please. For you, I polled several of our listeners, and most believe in the integrity of our elections, but there are some who think that election fraud is possible. How secure do you feel about Kentucky's voting process and how safe it is? And then for Dr. Stack, you mentioned the health statistics and where we stand now. How do you hope that those statistics will land 12 months from now once this program is implemented that you talked about today? Thank you.
Kentucky's voting process is secure. I know because I was Attorney General and ran the Election Integrity Unit for 4 years. I know because of the experience of the past years, and because you've heard from Democrats and Republicans that this system is secure and that everybody's vote will be cast. It is hard to deal with disinformation and misinformation that's out there, especially on social media. And folks, a lot of this is coming from foreign countries that want to tear us apart. You look at the Russias and the Irans and the North Koreas, they intentionally want you to believe less in the integrity of our elections. They want you to believe less in our country. They want to divide you as much as they can from other Americans because they know they're not strong enough to ever take us down. They're trying to get us to take ourselves down in different ways. And one of the ways they do that is to lessen trust in institutions. You've seen Michael Adams, a Republican today. You've seen me, a Democrat today. You've seen the fact that we're bringing in Kentucky Emergency Management to add that extra piece on top of it. Our elections are secure. Your vote will be counted. So please go vote and knock off all the silly stuff. I mean, don't get online and spread rumors that you don't know are true. Other people will read that and they might think that they are. And some of those absolutely false statements could be read by somebody who decides not to vote. In other words, your spreading of misinformation could disenfranchise somebody who should get out there and vote regardless of how they're going to vote. If you are a true American, then you ought to believe in our democracy and being encouraging everybody out there to exercise their constitutional right. Dr. Stack, now that I've preached.
Thank you, Governor. And Karen, we talk a lot about healthcare, and healthcare is important when you have an injury or an illness, but so much of our health and our wellness is actually defined by things that have nothing to do with the healthcare system. And so where I hope we'll be in a year, I hope we will have done those simple things, which sound really deceptively easy, but they're really, really hard. So I challenge anyone who's listening, or the people who read the coverage after this, to actually just document how many days a week do you actually eat at least 2 fruits or vegetables. And that sounds really silly, and it's smaller than what the national guidelines are. But the goal is to try to get everybody doing at least a minimum amount. So a year from now, if we're all eating a fruit and a vegetable every single day, 7 days a week, if we're all being physically active 3 times a week for at least 30 minutes, and that's lower than the national recommendation is for that too. But if we're doing those things and we're doing them with other people, and this is really important, folks, we spend too much time on social media and technology yelling at strangers we've never met and being angry at people that we'll never see, instead of just going out in the neighborhood and saying hi to your neighbors and smiling at people with their cute dogs and talking to them about their kids in school and in college and things like that. So we need to spend more time being social with each other that's unplugged from all the technology and just human quality interaction. And so Karen, a year from now, if we're doing those simple things up there, if we drill that in all year long and we really support each other and partners help to promote this in other ways, I think that we would look a couple years down the road after that, and I think we will see things like obesity declining and some measures of improvement in hypertension and diabetes. And if you eat fruits and vegetables, it actively lowers your cancer risk. So I think over a period of years, we could even see benefits there. The challenge is it takes effort now that's simple, consistently done over a long period of time. And I think we could have Kentucky be fantastically healthier than we are now. And we're not alone in this. This is a national challenge, but our goal here today is to help Team Kentucky be sure that we can be the very best.
And our final question, McKenna Horsley from the Kentucky Lantern.
Thank you, Governor. Could you please further clarify your position on the Electoral College? And if you are in favor of abolishing it, do you support a popular vote system for presidential elections?
Oh, I support any change that gets us closer to every single state being a part of a presidential election. I think that a popular vote would be a better form of democracy, where we would see more candidates come to Kentucky, but also come to other states, where turning out that many more Kentuckians matters just as much as turning out that many more people in Arizona or somewhere else. Just the idea that we could all, every single American, be a important part and feel like an important part of these elections. And those that are running would then have to have messages for all of America. I think that drives people towards common ground and common sense. Because if you've got to run in Kentucky for every vote, just like you've got to run in other states, then again, I think it gets us closer to a place where we can govern in a way that lifts all Americans up, that we're not pushed towards any extreme, that we don't write off crazy things that some candidates may or may not say, but that we would truly get an election for all Americans. I think to do that, we would ultimately have to abolish the Electoral College. I know that's been with us a long time, but we see where things currently stand. And even if you go back in time a little bit, the swing states might have been different, but there were still just a couple of states that this would come down to. Just the idea that our vote, your vote, every Kentuckian's vote would be sought by the candidates just as much as every other vote around the country. To me, that's a better process that puts us at the table just like everybody else. And remember, yes, while I'm a proud Democrat, my job is to be the best governor of Kentucky I can be, and to have positions that put us in the best place that we can be. At the end of the day, regardless of the changes that are or are not made, certainly in my activities, I want to make sure that we are moving not just this state, but other states into a place where they are also considered important in these elections, that we have a seat at the table nationally. That's good for Kentucky, but it's also good for every single state. I also think it could help us learn more about different states that are out there that have different needs than ours, and how we could potentially, work together. This is one of the areas where ideas come together in some of these large campaigns about how our country can work better together. So certainly I don't think that the Electoral College will be dissolved anytime soon, but certainly a popular vote would be beneficial to Kentuckians, making sure that every single Kentucky voter felt like their vote for the presidency mattered. All right. Thank you all very much. We'll see you next week.